do you feel that it's possible to get too internal and almost too introspective? And what I mean by that is, as someone that, whilst I don't practice meditation per se, I do spend a lot of time reflecting inwards and inwards and inwards. And I get to that point where it sounds really strange to say, I sometimes struggle with like existentialism, like, what am I? I'm nothing. I'm just a combination of, of atoms that come together, and I see my flow in the entire world and all that sort of stuff, right? But it gets to a point of like, I am nothing, or to bring like Socrates into this, I know that I know nothing. I know that my construct of the world is just my experiences, my perceptions, and that's what that might be, right? And it gets to a point where, and this is kind of where I've been thinking around, like, whilst I can peel back the onions until that there is, I call it like nothing left, or that there is just my essence, doesn't take away from the fact that at a tangible level, I'm still in the world. We are still in the ocean. And which means that there are, of course, other people who are in the ocean as well. And that's where I feel like, for me, where I've started to play around with using your words, spacious minds, is that idea of being able to broaden the awareness out to other people, right? And to other systems in it. So again, layering the onions back on.
Yeah.
So I know that there's like, let's say there's 5 different layers to me of my onions, and each layer is based on the experiences that I've had. Now, I know that I see the world in this way, and I'm very aware that I see the world in this way. And I know that you would see the world through your own versions of the onion. And thus, to hold your self-awareness in me would require me to be able to peel all my layers away and then be able to put your layers on.
Yeah.
And be able to kind of, this is like, almost like empathy, like extreme empathy, like I'm not just trying to relate to you, I'm trying to be you. I'm trying to understand your perspectives and your life experiences, and what, if you like the color blue, is there a particular reason you like the color blue? Was it your upbringing? Whatever, all those types of things. And then of course you extend that into further into like political views or values or whatever that might be.
That I find that really, really interesting, and I think we could spend a long time discussing all that. But before that, maybe I'd like to step back on a couple of ideas and concepts. Sometimes when you have self-awareness, it also means that you have a very active way of thinking. So let's say if I compare your mind with muddy water, you take a glass of water and there's a bit of dirt or mud inside, and you keep stirring it. And if you keep stirring that, then there's no clarity in the water. It keeps agitating that, and you can't really see through. And when you do introspection, sometimes a lot of people do in a very active way, if not aggressive way by the time, meaning I really want to know, I want to force myself, I'm going to dive into that subject and push. And for me, it's a bit like having this glass of dirty water and keep agitating and trying to see things in that. The way I would see meditation is to take that glass of water and keep it as still as possible. Because if you do that, then sedimentation will happen, which means the dirt will slowly drop. And eventually you will have clear water, and clear water is the pure awareness of your mind that you already possess, but you don't see it because it's all stirring all the time. So I just wanted to mention that, because I think there's a bit of a difference between this very active introspection and trying to learn and know and everything, which is a lot of steering the mind, and the meditational aspect, I would say, of approaching the mind, which is, this is the muddy space. I'm just going to have as much stillness as possible, and eventually the mud will just settle, and I will have clarity. And when you have clarity, that's at the same time you have clarity, you experience spaciousness. That's just what I wanted to mention.